The recent coup in Tunisia by President Kais Saied, who dissolved the parliament, suspended the constitution and arrested opposition leaders, threatening the country's democratic transition and stability. Tunisia was widely seen as the only success story of the Arab Spring, a series of popular uprisings that toppled authoritarian regimes across the Middle East and North Africa in 2011. The country managed to adopt a new constitution, hold free and fair elections, and establish a coalition government that included secular and Islamist parties. However, this fragile democracy faced many challenges, such as economic stagnation, social unrest, corruption, terrorism, and political polarization. On July 25, 2021, President Kais Saied announced that he was invoking Article 80 of the Constitution, which allows him to take exceptional measures in case of imminent danger to national security. He dismissed the Prime Minister, Hichem Mechichi, suspended the parliament for 30 days, revoked the immunity of its members, and assumed executive and judicial powers. He also deployed the army and security forces to prevent any protests or clashes. Saied claimed that his move was necessary to save the country from chaos and corruption, and that he would respect the rule of law and human rights. He also promised to appoint a new government soon and to hold a national dialogue to resolve the crisis. However, many critics denounced his actions as a coup d'état that violated the constitution and undermined the democratic institutions. They accused him of staging a power grab and imposing a dictatorship. Among his opponents were the Speaker of Parliament and leader of the Islamist Ennahda party, Rach Ghannouchi, who called for civil disobedience and resistance against Saied's coup. Ghannouchi was later arrested on charges of conspiring against state security, along with several other prominent figures from Ennahda and other parties. Many civil society activists, journalists, lawyers, and human rights defenders were also detained or harassed by the authorities. The international community expressed concern over the situation in Tunisia and urged Saied to respect democracy and civil liberties. The United States, the European Union, France, Germany, Turkey, Qatar, Algeria, and others called for dialogue and restraint among all parties. Some countries also suspended or reduced their aid or cooperation with Tunisia until the crisis is resolved. Saied's coup has plunged Tunisia into uncertainty and instability. It has jeopardized the country's democratic achievements and aspirations. It has also exposed the deep divisions and frustrations among Tunisians over their political system and socio-economic conditions. The future of Tunisia depends on whether Saied will uphold his promises to restore constitutional order and hold new elections, or whether he will consolidate his authoritarian rule and suppress any dissent. Tunisia is facing its worst crisis in a decade of democracy after President Kais Saied ousted the government and suspended parliament with help from the army on July 25, 2021. This move was denounced as a coup by the country's main parties, including Islamists, and raised concerns about the future of Tunisia's democratic transition, which began with the 2011 revolution that toppled the dictator Zine El Abidine Ben Ali. The European Union and other international actors have a vital role to play in supporting Tunisian civil society, media and human rights defenders, who have been at the forefront of defending democracy and demanding accountability from the authorities. These actors can provide financial and technical assistance, diplomatic pressure and solidarity to these groups, who face increasing challenges and risks under Saied's emergency powers. The EU and other international actors should also urge Saied to respect the rule of law and restore constitutional order as soon as possible. They should call for the reinstatement of parliament, the appointment of a new government, and the lifting of restrictions on media and civil society freedoms. They should also monitor the human rights situation in Tunisia and condemn any violations or abuses by the security forces or other actors. Tunisia's democracy is not only important for its own people, but also for the region and the world. It is the only success story of the Arab Spring, and a model for peaceful and inclusive political change in a volatile and strategic area. The EU and other international actors have a responsibility to support Tunisia's democratic experiment and prevent it from sliding back into authoritarianism or chaos.